Greetings. Welcome back to the Black is Beautiful podcast. Today we have a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Right, my name is Paul Mohammed, and I'm the founder of crowd purchase movement Money Mob. Essentially, Money Mob is a group economic forum and movement that supports black businesses. And we do something which we call the Money Mob. Essentially, it's about targeting a business, usually by referrals. We'll go visit the business, check them out, and if everything goes right, we will then use our influences, social media, radio, TV, and on a day and time, we mob that business.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Sounds good, man.
So, when did you come about? When did you create this Money Mob business?
It started around 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched a podcast just on by the off chance, and what it was is that it was a lady who actually had a business in Southeast London, a hair business. And a lady came into the shop. She was asking about a product that the lady didn't have. So she said, "Look, why don't you just go on the high street? You should be able to find that particular product." She went, she found the product, and a couple of weeks later, she came back and said, "You know what? I found the product. It was fine. Thank you so much." But the other thing that she said was that when she went into the shop, the man in the shops told her, "Anything that lady can give you, I will give it to you 10% less."
Wow.
Okay? And in truth, we are looking to get rid of her off the high street. When I heard that, I couldn't believe it. I said to myself, wait a minute. So this is a lady in our community, and other people is outside of our community telling her, yeah, we're looking to move her out. And that incensed me. So I kind of was kind of gathering my thoughts and thinking, all right, what can I do? What can I actually do as a response? And then I was watching a podcast I think it was based in the US, and the idea of this Money Mob kind of came together. So I spoke to a couple of friends of mine, and they said, "Look, I'm looking to do this thing. What do you think?" And they said, "Well, Paul, go for it with you." And that's basically how it started. I just I looked at a particular business and pointing them out, and then we just did the advertising, and then we mobbed the business. And a whole heap of people that was down there, podcasters, radio, and I was kind of hit back in regards to the response, but it was really, really beautiful. And then we did it once a month, and then from there just kind of took it from there.
Well, big up to you, because we need much more of that in our community.
Definitely.
Like the amount of people that have set up their business over time, and the struggle's real, and we as a community to really get together and support one another, not just by spending our monies, but also by giving good review, recommendation. And like you're saying, you're going down to these businesses and you're mobbing them. Like, that is dope. Like, I kind of similar to Come Chat with Simmer a little bit, where, I'd go out and interview these local businesses that people might not be even aware of.
Exactly.
And putting them out there to say, you know what, this is what they do, and you can get your natural hair products or whatever it is, clothing, jewelry from these I guess vendors. So yeah,
definitely. Man. On that point as well, over the weekend I went to PAX in I needed the Afro comb, so I went to PAX in I think in Finsbury Park. So I've gone in there and I've just realised it's the same sort of thing. I think it is important to spend our money, because there's a lot of other black-owned businesses that sell Afro combs, sell black hair products.
Right.
Yeah.
But for some reason, whatever it is, it seems like we all seem to be going to PAX. So I think it's important that we do support, up-and-coming black businesses. It's important. So that's why I love what you do.
It's not even just up-and-coming, isn't it? It's like just support in general.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Because when you look at the statistics of how long the pound stays within the community, compared to other communities, it's really, really poor.
That's right.
I think it's something like 6 hours.
6 hours. Exactly.
Whereas if you compare it to like the Jewish Asian community, we're talking like 30 days or something like that.
It's important.
25 to 30 days.
And for 6 hours.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Do you know what I mean?
Crazy.
So it's like I love Paul's idea because it's a form of practicing group economics,
Definitely.
isn't it? And that's something that we as black people need to do a lot more.
Definitely,
we don't do enough of.
And that's the thing. I think when you kind of put it in context, all right, that all right, as a community, we're about anything between 1.1 to 3 million in this country. We have a spending power of maybe 30 billion, okay? But we only spend 2% of that in our own community. And 6 hours of that is gone.
Crazy.
How are you going to be able to survive? How can you build things? And then we always worry about, well, this is not happening, our voice is not heard. Well, of course your voice is not heard because you don't have something that's there that's going to be tangible for your voice to be heard. And that's a big problem because it means that later on it not affects us, our generation, but it affects more our children.
I agree.
Why do you think that is, Paul? Why is it that it's such a small percentage of the overall spending power that's been spent within the community?
I mean, obviously, there's a myriad of reasons. I think that, and it's something that I've kind of mentioned in podcasts and previous. There is there's that notion, and some of it is true and some of it is false. That okay, number one, businesses and black businesses are maybe too expensive, or they're too remote, and people don't know about them. They're maybe bad service, and so on and so forth. And yes, there's some degree of truth in some of that, but it's not all true. And I think that's the thing. I think what is important, and that's one of the things that we're trying to bring as the Money Mo, is that I like the fact that there are many businesses that are there. There's many businesses just around the corner from where you live, giving very, very good service. And as a customer, if you feel a little bit away, a bit of a grief, then it's your response is to be a family and then let them know, in regards to that. And those who are in the businesses and at the coalface, because that's what it is, they are also are there, and we're supposed to also make sure that we do the best that we can. You know what I mean? And I think that's really, really important.
I think. Sorry, you were gonna say something?
I guess it's also a mind shift that needs to happen within the community.
Yeah, it has to be. Yeah,
because it's not as if I think this whole thing of keeping the money within the community, for me anyway, it's quite a new concept that I've been trying to practice over the let's say 5 to 10 years or something. But before that, it's not as if it was a culture that was instilled with me to only keep the money within the community. It's something that I've taught myself, which I'm obviously going to pass on to my kids. But what I'm saying is that we collectively as a community need to start thinking like that mind shift. For an example, the way I know Jermaine is because years back I was looking for something, and I was purposefully looking for someone of my community that could deliver that certain thing that I was looking for. Do you understand? But I guess sometimes as well as access, like sometimes you're looking for something and you can't find a black person, and then you need to go outside of the community. So we need to speak about that as well.
Definitely. I mean, we're all amazing creatives, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's the accessibility, knowing that this service is there. How do we find those people? So like what you're doing is amazing because you're putting people on the map. So that you know what? I know somebody that might know a plumber or an electrician or a clothes art designer or something like that, same kind of like with the Black Pound Day as well. He's putting the people
Big ups to Swiss on that.
Yeah, 100%.
So this is amazing. Like, we give thanks for that. So do you have a team that will go out to the businesses? Like, how does it work? So say, for example, you come to Mob Black is Beautiful. What does that look like?
Okay, what tends to happen is this. It's either myself or a small team of us will visit your business. Okay, there's a criteria, Once that's kind of sorted out, then what happens is then I'll either interview you on the premises or interview you on a podcast, a radio program, to really kind of give a ground into the audience of who and what you are, what you provide, what services, where you are. And then from there, it's very much about promoting it on radio, as I said, and podcasting, social media, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, per se. And then we will then I have like a group of people, we call it the Money Map Army, and they will kind of we're looking to do this time. This is where we're going, and as well as the general public, and say if it may say 1 o'clock, we will then kind of gather, and that's it. We'll go in, we spend, and I'll be there throughout the day. But then what tends to happen is that there's people that can't make it on, let's say, a Saturday. So they'll go and do a little bit of mobbing, shopping on the Friday. Or there's people that can't do the Sunday, so they to the Saturday, so they'll do go in on a Monday up. You know what I mean? It's really much about creating that kind of thing and understanding that this particular business is the actual target business for the day, and that they're also having a symbiotic kind of relationship. It's not just about we're just spending, but they're also very focused on helping their community as well. That's important.
Because the whole feeling of buying from your own. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a different kind of feeling, Like wearing your own garments, your own people's things. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, my brother thought of this idea and now I have it on my back. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, the food that I'm eating is being created through love. It's not processed. It's not fast. It's not basically the whole McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and all of that. It's a different kind of richness that it gives you. So it's really important for us as a people to understand that spiritually, mentally, emotionally, we're feeding ourselves by pouring back into the community and supporting our own businesses. Do you get what I mean? So,
but that goes back to what I was saying about that mindset shift, because historically, I can only speak for myself, but we've been almost conditioned to almost, I wouldn't say hate, but it's almost as strong as hate each other. We've, like, over the years, through programming, through the media, all that stuff, we've just been taught that, cool, if I'm a lawyer, there can't be two of us in the same room. There's not enough, there's no space for two of us. So I need to make it by any means necessary. If that means stepping on you, then I'm going to step on you.
You're not wrong.
And that's the kind of mindset that a lot of people still have to this day. And we need to kind of work on changing that, because, like, I agree with you, there isn't, like, this that I'm wearing, it's a nice brand. It's my boy from school. I went to school with him. And if you go to North London, you'll see loads of people wearing this, because there's pride in wearing something that a guy's designed a logo, and it's nice, and it's good quality. Like, I get pride from that. Would I say that would have been the case like 15, 20 years ago? I don't know, because the mindset was completely different then. Do you know what I mean?
I agree 100% with what Ed said as well. I think we do need to change our mindset, and the reason why, I just feel like there are people that have similar mindset as you, myself. We all want each other to grow, but there's another percentage of our own community that don't want to see their own person grow, and you see it. Music is a prime example where we see it all the time. A successful artist has made money from music, goes back to his own area and gets killed by his own people. So there's a lot of self-hate within our own communities. There's a lot of people that don't want to see another brother grow or become something. And you see that even on the high street, like where my barbershop is, you've got about 5 or 6 barbershops, all black barbershops next to each other. And what I would like to see is a lot more franchising, like people coming together, doing a barbershop, but like Tony and Guy and all these other barbershops. That's what I want to see, is a lot of franchises popping up, so that you don't have to be in competition. You use the same name, you can make the same money, you can grow it worldwide, you can grow it nationwide. That's where my brain is, and what I want to see within our own communities, that I think's missing. Even down to Caribbean shops. Again, I go to Mama's in Harlesden when I'm in Northwest London. but just down the road from Mama's there's another 5 Caribbean restaurants. Why can't we just have like a one brand McDonald's or KFC, a brand where people can use that name and make it go nationwide, so that person can feed his own family and offer jobs and so on and so forth, rather than this competition thing. There's a lot of competition within our own community that I think
I agree.
I don't want to see that anymore. Like, I don't think it's healthy that we, Tony and Guy, McDonald's, KFC, Morley's, all these other brands are franchised there. There's no competition. They're all making very good money, but our community, there's too much competition. It's do you know what I mean?
I hear
on the same high street, like, do you understand? Like, literally.
I think there's a couple of points there. One, you're talking about this generation now is probably the first kind of entrepreneurial generation. Many of, especially our parents, they came in to do service. The service industry, if it's in a building or on the buses or nursing or what have you. Now we have a generation which is an entrepreneurial generation, which is very, very, very different. You get what I'm saying?
It could have its downfalls, because sorry to cut you, but what I've noticed with a lot of people that say they're entrepreneurs is that this is what I've seen, is that as long as they're okay as one individual, they call themselves an entrepreneur. And to me, an entrepreneur isn't someone who's just good just by himself. He's making money for himself. An entrepreneur, to me, I look at the company that I used to work for when I was a kid, was an estate agent. And he had one office. It was King's in Edmonton. They had one office. And from his one office, he then had 2, and then he recruited more people. From that office, 3, and so on. So an entrepreneur, to me, is people that can put other people on. I think this generation have got this thing that I'm an entrepreneur just because I'm good. Like, I'm earning money. And I don't think, especially within our community, I think we need more than that. We need more than just one person earning 60 grand, 70 grand a year. We need people who can open up businesses and put other people on 30 grand, 40 grand, and so on. That, to me, is what I look at as what an entrepreneur is. And I feel like there's too many people using that entrepreneur thing just because they're good. And that's, again, it's we got to think that there's levels to it. Like Curry's, if you go in Curry's, you've got Curry's all over the place. You go McDonald's, there's people that work in McDonald's and they're putting on people 25 grand, 30 grand. I think we need to think bigger than just one person being on. It's a good start, but I think we have to think bigger.
It goes back to that whole, crabs in a barrel type thing, mentality that a lot of people still need to get out of. Do you know what I mean? Because, like you said, and I agree with you, there's a lot of people doing good things. But if it's not shown, how are people meant to know that that you can do that? Do you know what I mean? Like when I was at school, there's so many jobs that people do now that I didn't even know existed at school. Do you know what I mean? Like investment banker. One of my close friends, she's an investment banker, or was an investment banker, and I don't even know how she found out about it, but at school, I had all I knew was doctor, footballer, what else?
Now it's rappers.
Rappers, whatever. All I knew was the conventional stuff. Either doctor, lawyer, whatever. But I didn't know about all the other ways that you can make money. Whereas now, people should know, because we're in an age of a digital information. There's a revolution going on. You can turn on the TV, go on IG, you can find out anything you want. All you need to do is just search for it. But people are still not sharing. The rappers are sharing that they're successful. That hence why so many people want to be rappers. The drug dealers are sharing their drip and all that stuff. And the kids are looking at that and thinking, that looks cool. What about all the other people making money legitimately? Why don't you share that information so that people know, do you know what? There's other routes that I can go. If I want to be a plumber, I can be a plumber. That's how I become a plumber. And you can be successful as a plumber. You can make 200 you can become a millionaire as a plumber.
Money, even
and
builders.
also
all that other stuff.
Sharing the journey as well, because I work with young people, and I think, sometimes I think they can just make it just like that. So, like one thought, okay, I'm going to do football or boxing, and it's just an overnight thing.
Exactly.
But there's a whole process
100%.
to it. Do you get what I mean? I think some, I'm not all, but there is some people that are successful in their trade or whatever they do, and it's like they become selfish with that success.
They
you know?
do. There's a lot.
Yeah, like you don't know.
That's wrong though.
It is wrong. It totally is. It is
But there's
wrong.
like I said, it comes down to, for whatever reason, there's a lot of people, and I've met them that as long as they're good, I've made it. Like almost fuck my community. Like I've made it. I'm good, and that's good. I'm happy for these people, but I feel like the only time you should feel good within this lies if you're able to help others as well. Because if you look at billionaires and look at Jay-Z, he doesn't talk about half the stuff he does, but he's done a lot for a lot of people that he doesn't even talk about it. Do you know what I mean? There's even people that, and this annoys me as well, people that go on Instagram and see a homeless person and they film it, giving them money. I don't like this sort of. So if you're gonna do something, do it out of the goodness of your heart and just get on with it.
Yeah.
So that's my thing.
However, I do feel that, especially over the last couple of years, that the supporting one another, the empowerment in our community has grown.
It's getting better.
It's getting better. It's not where we would love it to be, but we also have to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, the generation before and before that, they weren't entrepreneurial spirits. They weren't. I guess they were creators, but weren't, because they were taken from their natural habitat.
Definitely.
It's like you kind of have to reprogram, relearn. It's a whole.
It was a survival thing.
Yeah,
It's a survival
they
thing.
were coming here to literally earn money.
Yeah.
That was the plan for the Caribbeans anyway, and then go back home.
That's
Do you
right.
get what I'm saying?
It's like our kids, they're not gonna grow up in the same environment that we've grown up in. It's a completely different environment that they're gonna grow up in. We grew up in survival, like, oh, I gotta go and work 2 jobs, so you look after your sister. You're the man in charge now for the next 8 hours while I'm at work and stuff like that.
The truth is, being a young person, being a young child, and mum's working late, and you have to look after yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's
So it's
not
like
just for us, that's for them as well. Do you get
so
what
it's
I'm
different
saying?
environments. I think like the generation coming up, as long as we keep passing the information on to them, because think about we're talking about money today and economics and stuff like that. Think about your knowledge growing up and how you viewed money. Do you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like
if I'm honest, money wasn't even a topic like
Exactly.
that for me.
Exactly.
It was like, I didn't know nothing about credit. I didn't know nothing about savings.
Exactly.
My aunt was the only one that taught me how to count money at a young child. And then when I moved out at 16, I was in care. So when I moved out, that's when she's like, you don't know about credit? And I'm like, what? Like these times at 16, I've already taken out catalogs or whatever. Do you get what I mean? Or 17. And already now we're getting to a point where it's a bit too late because I'm already in shit streak with my credit at 18 now when I'm getting into my flat and stuff. Do you get what I'm saying to you? But if it was sort of taught young, and this is when we speak about, when we go back to the last 2 episodes or 3 episodes when we spoke about the home education and teaching your children from at home, because in school we're not getting taught that.
You have to, because the school's not going to teach it to you.
No.
Some schools are not going to teach it to you.
All right, some schools won't teach it to you. I'll say most schools won't teach it to you. And this is education that you got to pass down, because if you look at it, really and truly, our parents didn't teach when it comes to money. Our parents, either they passed down very bad habits, or they didn't teach us anything at all. Do you understand? Like the conversations that I'm having with my kids are completely different to the conversations I'm having that I used to have with my parents. You know what I'm saying?
You're not
so
wrong.
we need to, like, imagine when you're younger and you try getting involved in a grown person's business. They tell you, what are you doing?
Mind your business.
Mind your business. Exactly. Whereas my daughter, she can talk to me about anything.
Yeah.
I gave her some money the other day, or she got some money for her birthday, and she I told her, what you're gonna do with it. She said, I'm gonna save it, and then she's asking me, should I put it in my savers or should I put it in my trust fund, because which one gets the most interest and all that stuff. So she's already.
How old is
the
she?
cons at 13.
It's beautiful, man.
So
That's
she's
what we
already
need.
thinking. So if you're talking like that at 13, clearly when you're 18, 21, you should be okay. You should already be think, and that's what we need to start passing down to our kids.
Again, I would say that what you're saying is exactly what it is. I mean, they are schools that are factories, but they are schools that train the children in that school to be leaders.
What school?
Public schools.
Public schools are trained as are private schools.
Yeah.
You are trained.
Well, public schools are private schools, isn't it?
But you are trained to
Do you
actually.
call that public school?
Yeah, public school in the UK. Public schools are private schools.
So what are
It's
the ones that you
confusing.
pay for?
State
What one
schools, I don't know.
that's called a state school.
Yeah.
The one that you pay for called a state school.
No,
What's the one that you pay for if you
public
school.
Okay, so the one you pay for is called a public school. So what's the one that my daughter goes to? What's that school called?
Well, like an independent
it's
school.
just a
Oh,
state.
it's called an
It's
independent.
just a state school, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just
Oh,
a-
okay, sorry, I
Yeah,
didn't know it's
but
called.
public
Public
schools
schools
are
are the
the
one that
one
our
that-
children
Yeah.
normally go to on a day to
Public
day.
schools are training their children to make sure that their children are there to lead. It's as simple as that.
Prime ministers, ministers,
exactly.
whatever.
And
Yeah,
that's
no,
the
I agree with
reason
that, and I've
why
always known
you'll
that.
have certain schools that will have. You'll have certain schools, and those schools, 9 out of the 10 prime ministers of this country went to that
Yeah,
school,
I agree,
or they
and
went to the, you know what I
100%,
mean? Or they'll be,
100%.
you know, or you have, you know, and so on and so forth. Or you
100%.
have certain, you know, for instance, my father was an entrepreneur. He was a builder. Up until I was 35, I never knew about working for anyone else because that was my life. You get what I'm saying? And as you said, now the next generation, they now look if they're in the right environment, they are now going to be in a situation that they are not even going to be looking at this world in this kind of way. And as I said, I think that. I believe that the world is changing and changing for the better.
Yeah,
and now,
Sorry to cut you.
I agree.
Listen.
Here we go.
No,
what you need to do is you need to just give me a chance to actually tell you
No, go on.
why. Yeah. Okay.
Go on.
One. Right. In the year 2050 in this country we will then
20 what, sorry?
2050.
Okay.
We will we will probably now number between 9 and 10 million people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. By the year 21, we will be the majority population on the earth. Right.
Yeah.
We're also now linking. It's not now going to just be something that we're just linking in Europe. We're now linking in regards to America, South America, the EU, and what have you.
Yeah.
And 2 to 4 billion of us will be on the continent of Africa. There are some serious things happening in regards to technology, in regards to us now kind of linking and overarching and working together in a way that actually haven't happened. And to link the point that you was mentioning, there are businesses that I know that are now working on creating change. Just that's not one down the road, Pem Pamsey. He has about he's got now 10, and he will have maybe 20 to 25 businesses.
And he's already in Ghana doing
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, there's Del Getty, there's Patty Palace. You know what I mean?
I've got to say, honestly, I agree with the population numbers that we're growing. I agree with. My thing is, I think my personal opinion is, I think, especially with the young black boys, honestly, I think we're going. The people that they look up to is not the same people that I was looking up to. My dad raised me on Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, like real leaders, real people that their brain was so different to everybody else. So that's how, those were people I looked up to. These young boys, who I would like to be leaders, I've got a son, and he's not going to be looking up to these rappers as leaders.
No.
And this is why I feel like we're not going in the right direction.
Okay, what I would say to you is that the new pop stars now are entrepreneurs. The new pop
No, I'm not
stars
talking
now
about pop stars. I'm
no.
talking about, look, you see rappers, if you look at the rappers now, you can count them on two hands. Black rappers in the UK that are doing big things.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the general. If you go to any area where there's a large percentage of black boys, and you sit down and talk to them, like, who do you look up to? Who's your leader? Stormzy, Dave. Not necessarily Stormzy and Dave are good people. I'm talking a lot of them, like, even down to my stepson. This is my good friend Kocho. Our children are looking up to the wrong people. Like the people that they consistently listen to are people that, to me, are disrupting the mindsets of the young boys. Like they're messing up they're making boys think that if you get 20 grand, buy a watch. If you get 20 grand, go to the shop. They're inspiring the youth to spend the money wrongly. And this is why me and Ez have this conversation. I just don't like rappers. When I say I don't like rappers, I mean all the drill rappers that are promoting a lifestyle that's not good. It pisses me off because they will take their money and buy property. And even Rick Ross does it. He still acts like he's selling drugs. Rick Ross is an incredible entrepreneur and businessman. But in his music, I haven't heard his latest album, but some of his music, he makes out he's still on the street selling drugs. You're not. The only guy that I would say has made the right transition and put certain messages in his music is Jay-Z. I listen to it and he drops you little gems here and there. These other guys are making it seem like they get 20 grand, they buy a watch or whatever. They don't. They invest the money into business. They got, like, even Rick Ross's son has franchised one of the Wingstops and so on. This is inspiring.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this. That's the reason why we have to have group economics. Most of the people that you are following, these are rappers, but these are rappers that are owned by record companies. They are owned by this one.
That's my point.
And look, if you're spending as a community just 2% of your income, what do you don't control anything.
But that's my point. We're saying that we're getting in the right direction. To me, from what I see from ground level, from my young family members and friends of friends' children, bruv, we're the brains, excuse my language, fucked up. The young boy's mind is mad. Like the things that they think they should be doing and how they should dress, how they should present themselves, it's messed up.
But
go from Brixton to Northwest London to Edmonton to Tottenham. Very far and few in between. There's more of a percentage of black boys that want to be rappers, want to be drill guys, want to look gangster, than there are a percentage of young black boys that want to be serious leaders and have their minds in the right place. They're very.
And I appreciate
when you look
that.
at percentage, where I would say 80% of them want to do this and 20% of them want to do good things, and that's fucked up. It should be 80% of us want to, become someone, not become rappers. Like. There's like I said, you can count the rappers on two hands who's really doing good things. The rest of them, there's a lot of young boys that want to be rappers, not realizing they're not gonna let everybody through. And also people don't realize a lot of rappers are also slaves as well to their label as well.
Indeed.
Like there's a lot going on that because I know it. I know what goes on and. It's peak for the young black boys. What they look up to is peak, man.
I think it goes back to what Sim was saying about not enough is documented in terms of the come up.
Yeah.
Because if everyone saw the
facts
come
of
up
it.
and the facts of what you need to do to get to where you're
Trust me,
being,
man.
regardless of what you're doing, you could be a rapper, you could be a doctor, a lawyer, or whatever. People need to be presented with the come up, and I guarantee you, like a lot of the rappers aren't making the money that they're
I know
making.
that takes time, man.
But they are making it seem to these kids like
they're making it seem like you're making money
saying,
straight away.
that they're making all this money, but they're really not.
You're right. But the record.
Overall,
Yeah, look, you see, Little Man, yeah, he had a fight with, Bouncer, man is Little Man. You saw the thing.
Yeah, I saw
From
the
that
controversy.
fight, I was doing my calculation. I even said to my girl, right, these guys must be winning. I was doing £4.99 times their 300,000 followers. I said to myself, these lot must have made millions. Remember I called you? Little Man said that he only made £8,000. He's got 300,000 followers. They sold the fight for £4.99. He made £8,000. So from the outside world, even with me, I thought £4.99, even if half of your followers buy the ticket, what is that? £4.99 times 150,000. He didn't. He made £8,000. So I've got a nephew as well. He's got about 40,000 followers. He's just known. You don't get money for a like. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So there's a lot of misconception as to, okay, this guy's got loads of followers, he must be minted. Not really. There's people who are business owners.
It's the new currency though, isn't it?
It is. It works for some people. Don't get me wrong. There are some people winning from it. But I'm saying that people need to realise like I keep saying, the guy I first ever worked for, he's not even on Instagram. He's probably got 20 followers. His kids, whatever. He's got money on a different level. But people will follow him and say, 20,000. Then they'll follow the next man who got 40,000.
They do say that about rich people. They'll be in like a plain white shirt.
Humble, man. Telling you, man.
Come close.
Oh, and then if you know the ones that are poor, they have the designer, the Dolce &
Look,
Gabbana,
man,
the
it's
Versace.
But again,
you
I'm
know
just
what I
saying that there's a
mean?
particular route that the wealthy will take. There's a particular line that you are then taken. You know what I mean?
I think we're in the wrong
Once you
direction, bro.
realise, I think the turning point for me when I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah.
And once you realise what it takes to get your money, how quickly you can spend it, and if you invest it, how much you can put your money to work for you, you start thinking about things a different way. So a lot of these kids that are spending their money, they just don't know any better.
They don't know
that money can make money for you and stuff like that. It's only once you start looking into it. So that's why I say a lot of people that have the knowledge keep it to themselves. And for me, it's a similar pet hate that Jay has with rappers and drill and stuff like that. I have a pet hate with keeping information to yourself. See me, I'm an open book. Someone can stop me on the road and say, how do you do this? And if I know, I'll stop there and I'll give them the information. Because information is key.
It is.
Information is key. You can change someone's life like that by giving them the right information.
And I think as well, it's also for the people that do have the insight and the information, to act upon it, man.
Yeah.
Some people have information. Jermaine, you can sit down and be like, simmer from A to Z. This is how you do the thing. And I could take that information and sit on it. You know, and it happens a lot. But I was going to say, sorry, Jermaine, I do agree with Paul. I do believe that overall things are getting better. I see the vision. I see the vision. I wouldn't put it down to
I see the numbers that you're talking about in terms of we're growing as a population. 100% agree with you on that. And on that respect as well, it can go on to we're growing in numbers, but are our brains all growing in the right direction?
But are we looking into other things outside of just, I guess, the music?
Yeah.
Are we looking at worldwide economics?
We can't let that take our whole perception.
Are we looking at... Yeah, we can't look at London. We got to look at worldwide.
No, but I'm saying, I'm not saying you're not, but I'm just saying, I got a selfishly talk from, I'm on the ground and I'm telling you.
I'm really in this
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. It's not a joke, bro. I'm telling you. The book that Ed's said is the first book that I actually read, and Ed's is 100% correct. That book changed even my brain. Like I was lost. Where our parents were saying save money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad teach you, not necessarily. Invest it in something that will make you more money. So I agree with what Ed's saying, but I'm just saying from the ground, bro, I'm telling you, we go to the schools, especially in schools where there's a large population of black boys, their brains, some of them don't even read. Some of them are so busy watching YouTube videos, this, that, and other. Some of them are not actually even reading. And even down to the schools, my daughter's school always gives her books to read. They're rubbish. Basic storybook. I tell her to read that for the school, but I give her other books. What's the book? Wisest Man in Babylon or
The
whatever.
Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah, brilliant book. Small book. There's another
Very
book.
small, but amazing.
Powerful, man.
Powerful.
Forget reading a whole. They give my daughter the storybook. It's got about 150 pages. What did you learn? Probably nothing.
Indeed.
I could have told you a story.
But again, I would say to you this, all right. The standard schools that your children are going to, they're not there to train your children to be successful.
They're just teaching you to follow systems.
They're just to follow systems.
I think we're getting backwards.
And what I'm saying is that
I swear down, bro. I think we're getting backwards.
We're like this.
Bruv,
For every one person doing good, there's a one person doing bad.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going backwards. I don't think we're
wrong. It's not 80-20.
I think it's 50-50.
And again, it's not going to
it's
be
not 50-50.
But again, what I'm saying to you is
the 80-20 rule. I'm gonna say one thing.
Okay, please, yes,
I'm passionate about this, bro. I'm telling you, bro. This pisses me off, bro. I believe in everything 80-20 rule. There's an 80-20 rule at all times. You know, save 80% of your money, spunk 20%. When it comes to the boys in our areas that we come from, the 80-20 rule is wrong. 80% of them want to be rappers, gangster thing, 20% want it. That's not a good balance. We're definitely not 50-50 in areas that we come from, whether it's North West London, Brixton. Go to the schools. I can guarantee you, speak to the teachers. What are the black boys doing? Well, 20% are doing good, 80% fucked in the head. Ain't got a clue. That's fucked. That's not a good balance.
No, it ain't
We're
a
not
good
winning.
balance.
That's not going forward. That's going backwards.
It ain't a good balance, but I'm saying to you, that is not the whole few picture. There are people that I meet youngsters myself, right? Some of them, yes, they've been in, and some of them been out of the system. They're now building businesses. They're doing this. They're doing that. I've got people coming from just coming back from South Africa. The images that they give you of what's happening in other parts of the world is not the images. Even here, there's young brothers that I know right now are making some serious money, and they're doing some serious things, and it's not drug selling, not this, what have you. It's things like NFTs. It's things like literally blockchain technology.
If it's not for me, if it's not 80% of us winning and 20%,
can we get a statistic or something? Can anyone?
But this is the thing, Jermaine.
Yeah.
You need to bring who you're talking about over to here. This is what he's saying about group economics, where I feel like we have to bring it together.
And that's what we're here to do. We're as Black is Beautiful, we've always said, we're here to promote the people that are doing good things, yourself and whoever else doing good things, because we want to see that. But I know that I get frustrated because I know that there's not a lot of people doing this sort of thing. From Grand Daily to Link Up TV, there's these people, the owner of Grand Daily, what's his name? Posty. He's got brains, but he's just like a lot of people. I just want to make money. And we all want to make money, we all need money. But you got to make money.
He's put a lot of people on though. Yeah. He's put a lot of people on. He's built, look what he's built. He's built an empire. He's built GRM Daily, bro. That's a big corporation. He's got a record company. He's got GRM Daily. He's got loads. He puts people on.
Yeah,
he's
but
created jobs. It goes back to what you were saying. Don't just put yourself on and create jobs. He's created jobs.
This is another thing I get frustrated about.
So many people have money because of.
But listen, this is another thing I get frustrated about. Yeah, rappers say this all the time. Yeah, I know rappers. They say, look, yeah, I know what I'm doing is wrong. It's making money. I'm putting other people on, but. For me,
but you called out. You called out.
No, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. Let me land. I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, I'll get to Posty. Rappers say there's enough rappers that say, I know what I'm doing is wrong. I know the content I'm making music is wrong, but it's making money. This is what's making me money. So there's a lot of people that have a drug dealer mentality where they know the product they're giving to their customer is wrong, but it's making money. Fuck it. So the same thing with Posty. And these people, I just feel like the content, what you're giving to the public, yeah, even though the people that you're putting on, i.e. the rappers, are making money, the destruction that is given to some young black boys that don't have a father figure in their household to show them this is wrong and show them the right way, you're destructing your own community. I don't agree with making money unless it's righteously done. If you're making money from doing the devil's work, I'm not for it. I don't care how much money you've made. If what you're making money from is making other black boys kill each other, that's your devil's money, bro. I don't want it. If you're a doctor, yeah, I feel like you can sell drugs. I buy drugs, vitamin C, vitamin D. I buy these drugs. That's good. But if you're selling a product, I used to like Amy Winehouse, selling a product to Amy and she killed herself. What's the point? If you're putting on people that are rapping shit and it's making other black boys want to become that type of individual, I don't care how much money you made. That's not...
Jermaine, you got really passionate.
I am, man.
But honestly, you know what I want to say? The reason why I agree with Paul again, is because on the map, we're in London, we're in the UK, and with the music, that you're talking about with these young drill rappers and the influence they have, on the map we're like this, just one little speck. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is why I would say what we're going to do off camera is we're going to look into some statistics
And come back.
Can
I say something?
Yeah, you're acting like London's the be all and end all.
But can I say
Everything
one thing?
happens and
Can I say one thing?
What?
I just want to say one thing, yeah. Marcus Garvey read a book, yeah. Marcus Garvey said we're all part of the black race, yeah. So all it takes is these rappers to present themselves like that. It's affecting all of us. Like you could walk down the road in a hoodie and people are gonna think, they're not gonna realise what you do. I know what you do. You get money legit. You've done well for yourself, but all it takes is these people. It makes us all look bad. So we can't just say, because it's only 5% of people in London. Let's not really.
But we need to stop that. We need to stop being embarrassed for other black people.
But then if I'm talking to my cousin in Jamaica and we start mentioning some of these artists in the UK, they don't know.
But we're not over there. We're living in England.
What I'm saying is, in terms of what Paul was saying, in terms of our community getting into better places, I can see it, because you're just talking about a small aspect. In terms of the black community, we are worldwide. We're not just in London.
Yeah, but
we're not in the UK
you can't
only.
Talk like that. You can't just bypass where you live. Where do you live?
I live in Bromley.
You live in South, yeah? I know
Bromley.
South as well. What's happening?
It's really in the street.
No, I'm saying what's happening? Yeah. What's happening there?
Do you know what? In my area, a lot of the crime are with white kids.
No, Bromley's nice. I'm saying, what's happening in Brixton?
Right, I live in South London, right?
What's happening there?
I went to 2 weeks ago.
Are they looked upon as winners?
2 weeks ago, I was at a film festival, right? These young brothers, they're making a documentary, and it was a collective called Making Numbers, and they're talking about there's designers, they're rappers, yes, they're entrepreneurs. I mean, the young people doing some serious stuff. You know what I mean?
But I'm saying the 80-20 rule, 20% are doing good things.
80% of our children are selling are geared towards that, and that's what we got to appreciate. We're thinking like the majority is that, and the majority is not that
and that's
at
why
all.
I said,
And that's
let's
what
get
we
the
got to be very,
numbers,
very
because
mindful
we
of.
don't. I think it's just
like I said, if I don't
know. Like Jay-Z said,
from what I'm seeing, it's
men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Get the numbers in.
I'm gonna just land one thing, okay? And this is it. I live in a borough, right? In the borough is about 263,000 people in that borough, okay? This is the borough of Lewisham. That's the same amount of people that actually is the population of Barbados. Out of that population, right, 49% of those people are black people. We have a general income, and we calculated that if all of the working population in our community, earned £1,000, and we spent 10% of that would be close to £80 million.
Yeah,
but we only spend 2%. So you know how much we spend in our community? We spend £80,000 on black businesses.
Yeah, I agree with. We spend money.
And that's
I'm
what
not
I'm saying.
agreeing with
So
that.
if your gross economy is just that, how are you going to be able to do anything? How are you going to be able to have any influence? And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
okay, and
it's going to influence.
All right. The hair care industry, right? Within 5 years of just us now deciding, okay, we're going to do things naturally, the natural hair care industry is completely different than how it was 5 or 10 years ago. Because 5 or 10 years ago, it was all about straighteners and what have you. Yeah. Now the hair care industry, and even big players are now looking. Wait a minute. We want to be a part of this natural hair movement. Yeah. So we know that these things can be done. Why? Because as I said, we got black people, black women in particular, now care enough to now not poison black women with products that are illegal or poison. And it's the same thing with other things. Create the right environment, and we will then create the situation where our people lead by example.
You understand? So if you have a problem with the music industry, create good music, which you do.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
and just talking about hair care, big up Treasure Tress.
Chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and big up this brand. It's called Ethnicity Clothing. It's a formal wear, but it's a streetwear, formal wear brand, which is fantastic. I love this stuff.
No, that's good. We'll put it on the screen, yeah.
Please, man.
But that's good, man. Good
Thank
topic.
you.
Thank you.
This was a good topic. Very passionate. I'm gonna get the numbers. Thank you, Paul, for joining us today.
Big
It's
up
been a
Marcus Garvey
pleasure.
as well. We're all part of the black race, so we all need to represent. Yeah.
Indeed,
100%.
indeed.
And until next time, remember to subscribe, like, share, leave your comments. It's very important for us. And yeah, peace.
Peace.
Cut. Right, next.